What if I told you? March 2026 isn't just another month on the calendar. It's a cosmic pressure chamber, and pressure doesn't destroy you. It reveals you. If you've been feeling emotionally unstable, unusually tired, randomly triggered, hyper-aware, or spiritually activated for no clear reason, pause. Take a breath. You're not losing control, you're not being dramatic, and you're definitely not crazy. You're responding to a massive energetic shift building in the background of our reality. Because in March 2026, a rare planetary alignment tightens the sky like a drum. And when the cosmos tightens, we feel it in our bodies, in our sleep, in our relationships, in our thoughts. Old wounds resurface. Patience runs thin. Truth becomes unavoidable. And the mask people wear, it starts to slip. This isn't coincidence. It's calibration. Some people will experience this as chaos. Others will experience it as awakening. That's the split. This alignment doesn't ask politely. It forces clarity. It exposes weak foundations. It amplifies whatever is already unstable in your life. And here's the truth. Most won't say out loud. This shift will separate the people who rise in power from the people who collapse under pressure. So the real question is, when the energy intensifies, will you rise with it, or will you let it drain you? Stay with me, because by the end of this video you'll understand exactly why this alignment feels so intense, and more importantly, how to protect your energy, strengthen your boundaries, and walk through March 2026, aligned instead of overwhelmed. This isn't fear, it's preparation. And preparation is power. So what's actually happening in March 2026? Why does this feel different from a normal full moon cycle? Because this isn't just one event, it's a stack. A powerful full moon peak ignites emotional intensity. Saturn applies pressure, demanding maturity, accountability, structure. The karmic lunar nodes activate destiny points, pulling past and future into collision. And Mars adds volatility, impatience, confrontation, raw fire. Individually, each of these transits is strong. Together, they create a compression field. Think of it like tectonic plates shifting under the surface. You may not see the movement at first, but you feel the tremor. This combination amplifies everything. Emotions feel louder. Truth becomes unavoidable. Relationship dynamics hit breaking points. Energy sensitivity skyrockets. And awakenings, the kind that change your direction, can happen overnight. But here's what most people don't understand. When multiple slow-moving planets like Saturn and the lunar nodes create tension at the same time, this isn't surface-level astrology. This is structural. Slow planets don't influence moods, they influence life chapters, and when they tighten at once, your nervous system responds before your mind does. That's why you don't just notice something is off. You feel it in your body. Your sleep patterns shift. You wake up at 3 a.m. with racing thoughts. Old memories resurface out of nowhere. You replay conversations from years ago. People suddenly distance themselves or reappear unexpectedly. Small disagreements escalate quickly. You feel overstimulated in spaces that used to feel normal, and at the same time, your intuition gets louder. Downloads increase. You sense things before they happen. You pick up on lies instantly. You feel when someone's energy shifts, even if they say nothing. That's not paranoia. That's heightened awareness under cosmic pressure. Saturn demands responsibility. The nodes pull you toward destiny. Mars pushes action. The full moon exposes what's hidden. So if something unstable exists in your life, it won't stay hidden in March. If something is weak, it will crack. If something is misaligned, it will feel unbearable. And that intensity, it's not punishment, it's recalibration. The universe doesn't randomly shake your world. It corrects trajectory. It forces you to confront what you've been tolerating. It accelerates endings that were already overdue. And here's the key. The people resisting growth will experience this as chaos. The people ready for evolution will experience it as activation. Same energy, different response. So if things feel heightened, accelerated, emotionally charged, it's not random. It's structural change. March 2026 isn't here to make you comfortable. It's here to move you. The only question is, will you move with it or fight it? Because fighting cosmic recalibration is exhausting, but aligning with it, that's where power begins. So why does this feel so intense? Why does March 2026 feel heavier than a normal emotional wave? Because this alignment doesn't just touch one area of your life. It activates 3 core axes at the same time, and when multiple life pillars shake together, you feel it everywhere. First, the identity axis. Who am I becoming? Not who you used to be, not who people expect you to be, but who you're evolving into. This energy strips outdated versions of you. The people-pleaser version, the silent version, the overgiving version, the version that tolerated disrespect just to keep peace. Saturn asks, is this still you? And if the answer is no, it starts dismantling that identity. That's uncomfortable, because growth feels like loss before it feels like power. Second, the relationship axis. Who can come with me? Not everyone is meant to cross into your next chapter. Some connections were built for survival seasons, some were built around trauma bonds, some only worked because you were smaller. As you expand, certain relationships strain, conversations feel forced, energy feels off. You may notice sudden clarity about fake friends. You start seeing patterns you ignored for years. You feel emotionally exhausted around people who constantly take but never pour back. Energy vampires become obvious. And here's the truth. When you outgrow dynamics, it creates friction, because growth threatens comfort. Third, the karma axis. What am I done tolerating? This is where things get explosive. When karmic nodes activate under pressure, unfinished lessons resurface. Old cycles try to repeat. Old temptations reappear. Old wounds poke at you, not to punish you, but to test whether you've truly evolved. And when karma meets confrontation, things explode. Truth spills out. Hidden resentment surfaces. Boundaries get enforced. Silence breaks. You may feel a strong desire to isolate, not because you're antisocial, but because your nervous system needs recalibration. You may experience deep spiritual awakening moments, sudden clarity, emotional releases, realizations that change how you see your entire past, because this energy exposes where you are out of alignment, and exposure never feels comfortable. It feels raw. It feels vulnerable. It feels destabilizing. But here's the powerful shift in perspective. Exposure is illumination. You can't correct what you can't see. And March 2026 shines a spotlight on misalignment, where you're shrinking, where you're tolerating, where you're betraying yourself for approval, where you're staying small to keep others comfortable. That spotlight might sting. But it's necessary, because intensity isn't destruction, it's acceleration. And acceleration only feels overwhelming when you're resisting change. If you lean into it, if you observe instead of react, if you protect your energy instead of scattering it, this intensity becomes clarity. And clarity changes everything. Now let's get personal, because this isn't just theory. This is about what you're actually experiencing. If you're feeling 3 or more of these signs, you're not imagining it. You're directly tuned into this March 2026 alignment. First, you feel overstimulated in crowds. Places that used to feel normal suddenly feel loud, chaotic, draining. It's not social anxiety, it's heightened sensitivity. Your nervous system is picking up on everything. Tone shifts, emotional undercurrents, fake smiles, suppressed tension. You're reading energy faster than your brain can process it. Second, you crave silence, not boredom, not loneliness, silence. You want space to think, to breathe, to reset, because when cosmic energy intensifies, your system demands recalibration, and silence becomes medicine. Third, old memories resurface randomly. Moments from years ago replay in your mind, conversations you thought you forgot, situations you never fully processed. That's karmic review. Unfinished emotional threads coming back for closure. Fourth, you feel emotionally raw. Little things hit harder. Music feels deeper. Tears come faster. You're not becoming fragile. You're becoming aware. Raw emotion is often a sign of emotional detox. Fifth, your intuition is louder than logic. You sense when something is off before proof appears. You know who to trust without needing evidence. You feel decisions in your body before your mind explains them. That's alignment sharpening your internal compass. Sixth, you're cutting people off without guilt. Not out of anger, not out of drama, but clarity. You're no longer negotiating your peace. You're no longer explaining boundaries to people committed to misunderstanding you. And the shocking part, you don't feel bad because your tolerance for misalignment has dropped. 7th, you feel like something big is coming. You can't explain it. There's no concrete proof, but there's this internal pressure, like life is rearranging behind the scenes. That's not paranoia, that's transition energy. When destiny points activate, you feel movement before you see results. So if this sounds like you, type shift activated in the comments. Not for hype, but for awareness. Because the people who feel the shift first are usually the ones evolving fastest. Sensitive people aren't weak. They're early detectors. They sense energetic shifts before the collective does, and that gives them an advantage. But only if they protect their energy. Only if they stay grounded. Only if they trust what they're feeling instead of dismissing it. This isn't random mood swings. This isn't coincidence. This is alignment pressure, and pressure reveals who's ready. If you're feeling this deeply, you're not behind, you're ahead. The question now is, how will you handle the upgrade? Now we need to talk about the part nobody warns you about, the danger zone. Because during intense cosmic alignments like March 2026, your energetic field becomes more open, more sensitive, more permeable, and that sounds spiritual and mystical. Until you realize what it actually means, it means you absorb everything. Other people's anxiety, other people's anger, other people's fear about money, relationships, the future. You walk into a room feeling fine and leave feeling heavy, not because anything happened, but because you picked up emotional static that wasn't yours. You start taking on stress that doesn't belong to you. You overgive because you feel responsible for everyone's comfort. You over-explain because you want to avoid conflict. You overextend because you don't want to disappoint anyone. And slowly, you drain yourself. Then one day you wake up exhausted, irritable, foggy, confused, and you think life is just overwhelming. But here's the truth. It's not that life is harder. It's that your boundaries are thinner. March 2026 will test how strong your energetic walls really are. Because when Saturn applies pressure and Mars adds fire, weak boundaries crack. If you don't protect your field during this time, you will feel mentally scattered, emotionally reactive, physically fatigued. You'll question your decisions. You'll doubt your intuition. You'll feel pulled in multiple directions. But here's the empowering part. If you protect your energy, the same alignment becomes fuel. You'll feel clear instead of confused, focused instead of scattered, strong instead of overwhelmed. The difference isn't the planets. The difference is your boundaries. This is where people either collapse into chaos or step into power. Because energy management is maturity. You're not required to hold everyone's emotions. You're not obligated to fix everyone's crisis. And you're not selfish for choosing peace over access. March isn't just testing your patience. It's testing your energetic discipline. So ask yourself, who has access to you? Who gets your time? Who gets your emotional bandwidth? Because during this cosmic shift, access equals influence, and influence equals energy. Protect it wisely, because the stronger your boundaries, the stronger you become. Now let's get tactical, because awareness without action is useless. If March 2026 is a cosmic storm, then protection is your power. Here's how you stay strong when the energy tightens. 1. Limit unnecessary conversations. Not every debate deserves your voice. Not every opinion deserves your response. Not everyone deserves access to your emotional state. During intense alignments, words carry more weight. So choose silence strategically. Silence isn't weakness, it's energetic conservation. 2. Reduce social media consumption. Collective anxiety spreads fast during planetary tension. Fear is contagious. Outrage is addictive. If you scroll first thing in the morning, you're absorbing thousands of emotional frequencies before your brain is even grounded. Protect your mind like it's sacred space, because it is. 3 salt baths or grounding showers. Water is more powerful than people realize. It resets energetic overload. When you feel heavy, drained, overstimulated, shower intentionally. Imagine stress leaving your body. Simple rituals create powerful nervous system resets. 4. Sleep discipline. This alignment will amplify dream activity. Messages come through the subconscious first. If you stay up overstimulated, distracted, doom scrolling, you miss guidance. Rest is not laziness, it's recalibration. 5. Protect your mornings. No phone for the first 30 minutes, no notifications, no chaos. Just breath, stillness, intention. Because mornings during cosmic tension set the frequency for your entire day. Win the first 30 minutes, and you control your energy. Lose it, and the world controls you. March 2026 isn't about fear, it's about discipline. Protect your energy, and you don't just survive the storm, you rise through it. Now here's the part most people miss, the hidden gift. Because this alignment isn't here to hurt you, it's here to upgrade you. Pressure doesn't arrive to destroy strong foundations, it arrives to expose weak ones. And whenever Saturn's pressure meets the karmic nodes, destiny shifts, not gently, decisively. This is where invisible contracts expire, unspoken agreements dissolve, cycles that dragged on for years suddenly close. Clarity arrives fast, truth becomes undeniable. You won't need more signs, you won't need more proof, you'll just know. Know what's over, know what's real, know what's next. And yes, you might lose something in March, a relationship, an illusion, a version of yourself, a comfort zone you've outgrown. But here's the reframe. Loss during alignment isn't punishment, it's pruning. When a tree is pruned, it looks smaller before it grows stronger. That's what this is. Energetic pruning. Removing what blocks expansion, because alignment is priceless. When you're aligned, decisions feel lighter, energy flows easier, opportunities feel natural instead of forced. You stop chasing, you start attracting, and that's the real upgrade. Not more chaos, not more drama, more clarity, more precision, more power. March 2026 isn't asking you to suffer, it's asking you to shed, to release what no longer resonates, to step into the version of you that doesn't negotiate self-respect. This is a destiny checkpoint, and if something exits your life during this time, trust that it couldn't ascend with you. Because upgrades require space, and space requires release. The hidden gift isn't comfort, it's alignment, and alignment changes everything. So what does this actually mean for you? It means March 2026 is going to ask one direct, uncomfortable question. Are you living in survival mode, or are you living in soul alignment? Survival mode looks like control, overthinking every move, trying to manage everyone's reactions, holding on to situations long after they've expired, gripping tightly because letting go feels unsafe. But here's the truth about this alignment. The tighter you grip, the more chaotic it feels, because this energy doesn't respond to control, it responds to alignment. The people who try to force outcomes in March will feel resistance everywhere. Plans stall, conversations escalate, stress multiplies, not because they're cursed, but because they're misaligned. Now here's the shift. The people who surrender, not quit, not give up, but surrender. They will feel elevation. They'll notice doors closing without drama. They'll feel guided instead of pressured. They'll sense clarity instead of confusion. This is a frequency test, and frequency isn't about what you say, it's about what you allow. The universe doesn't punish, it corrects. If something leaves your life during this time, it wasn't built for your next level. If something triggers you, it's highlighting a wound ready to heal. If something feels unstable, it was never stable to begin with. March is exposing cracks before they become collapses. That's protection, not punishment. So instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Ask, what is this teaching me? Because survival mode keeps you reactive. Alignment makes you powerful. And March 2026 isn't here to break you. It's here to position you. The only decision is whether you fight the correction or rise with it. Let me say this clearly. You are not breaking, you are recalibrating. March 2026 feels intense because growth is intense. Expansion is intense. Truth is intense. Energy is shifting. Relationships are evolving. Illusions are dissolving. And clarity is rising to the surface whether people are ready or not. If you're feeling this deeply, that's not weakness. That's sensitivity. And sensitivity is power when it's protected. It means you're aware. It means you're tuned in. It means you're ahead of the collective curve. This alignment isn't here to destroy your life. It's here to refine it. So protect your peace like it's sacred. Guard your energy like it's currency. Trust your intuition even when logic hesitates. Because when this alignment passes, You won't recognize the old version of yourself. You'll be stronger, clearer, more disciplined, more aligned. This is your upgrade window, and the way you move through it determines who you become next. If this resonated with you, comment, "I choose alignment," and I'll see you in the next cosmic transmission.